No.
So, figure out who we're killing yet? Oh.
So guys, this is our trailer and gameplay reaction preview for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Cool.
So in terms of what we know so far, well, the game is being developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. It's currently set for release in early 2023 for Windows PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. In terms of the game series, it belongs in the Batman Arkham series and is the 5th game within the series, yet it does not feature Batman as its protagonist.
Really? Why don't you just mail me the bullet?
Instead, the game focuses on the Suicide Squad, a group of super criminals assembled by Amanda Waller and sent to Metropolis to stop Brainiac, an alien invader that's brainwashed the Justice League. The general premise is that within the Arkhamverse, the universe established by the Batman Arkham series, Brainiac has invaded the Earth and brainwashed its inhabitants, including its superheroes, the Green Lantern, the Flash and Superman, 3 of the Justice League members. With no superheroes to turn to, Amanda Waller releases the Suicide Squad, comprising of Harley Quinn,
Is taking heavy fire. Get to Park Ridge ASAP.
Don't worry, boss. We got this.
Captain Boomerang,
Ah, shit!
Deadshot,
Guess those teeth are sharper than your eyes, Shark Man.
and King Shark.
Whoa. Look, it's Superman. The mighty Superman has just rescued that pilot.
What a show-off.
It's now down to the Suicide Squad to wipe the floor with the Justice League and stop Brainiac. So finally we're going to be getting a Suicide Squad game. There's a bit of history around the development of Suicide Squad games dating back to 2010, but in a nutshell, a number of Suicide Squad games were teased over the past 12 years, but nothing actually materialised until this was announced by developer Rocksteady Studios in 2020.
I was just about to do that!
First trailer was then premiered at DC Fandom in August 2020. It was then originally set for a 2022 release, but was earlier this year delayed to early 2023.
Come on then, you prick!
I got a little wild there.
So joining me for this reaction preview is my brother Dale. So Dale, what are your thoughts on this one?
So in terms of what it looks like or reminds me of, the third-person camera angle and fight sequences definitely look on par for a Rocksteady game, and so I expect it to be a bit like the Arkham series in gameplay, but with a lighter, more jokey tone.
And a homeless person. You're perfect.
Various trailers do also look quite similar to Gotham Knights, I've noticed, which is another DC game coming out in October 2022. So Dav, what are your thoughts on the gameplay?
I think it genuinely looks quite fun. Gleaned from the little gameplay that's been teased so far, it looks quite fast-paced with a good variety of combat and the varying characters' arsenal of powers and weapons. From what we understand, you can play the story mode in single player with NPCs playing the other 3 characters, in which you can switch between each character to enable you to play as each member of the squad. Alternatively, you can play up to 4-player cooperative.
Yeah, I like the idea of this ability to switch between the 4 characters or via 4-player co-op. Sounds great, and I like that it's going to be open world and set in Metropolis rather than Gotham City. Seems Rocksteady want to move away from the usual Arkham series setting and story, which is fair enough after having made several awesome games in that series.
You don't want to mess with that boy.
It actually looks quite funny as well, and not cheesy, which can be a real fine line sometimes. I really enjoyed the fighting style in the previous Arkham games, and hopefully it will retain elements of that. So what are your thoughts on graphics and environment?
I think they look quite nice actually. Trailer graphics can't be relied on for gameplay graphic quality obviously, but again from what we've seen of the gameplay so far it looks quite good. The environment of the city of Metropolis looks detailed, looks to be open world and hopefully destructible.
Yeah, the graphics in the first cinematic trailer look amazing, but there's no suggestion that this is in-game or even in-engine footage. The gameplay trailer itself also looks great, although the gameplay footage seems to be interspersed with cutscenes or more cinematic footage, so it's hard to tell what it will actually look like on release. Obviously, these are early previews as well, so a lot could change between them being released and the actual game being released. Based on the previous Arkham games, Rocksteady usually pushed the boundaries with the graphics, although this has backfired in the past with Arkham Knight and its terrible launch issues. So hopefully they would have learned from that.
Really thought Flasher had us that
So in terms of my thoughts on the story, well, if I'm honest, I'm not completely sold on the premise of this one. To me, it kind of feels like it's a second or third game in the Suicide Squad sub-series and not the first Suicide Squad game, even though it is the first, yet the fifth in the Arkham series. I think it feels like this to me largely down to the link to the Justice League. It feels like there should have been a game before this purely based around the Suicide Squad, possibly reflecting the story of the films maybe, and then linked to the wider DC universe such as the Justice League in the second game. Kind of like you might have a Superman game initially and then follow up with a Superman versus Batman game, for example. I guess we'll just have to see how the story unfolds in this game.
You're good at what you do, even if what you do is far from good.
In terms of my thoughts on the story, I like the idea of playing the villains for a change, and this is set against the backdrop of the Justice League being brainwashed by Brainiac. It seems an engaging and somewhat original storyline. It'd be interesting to see how the game story develops, given that it's based around killing the Justice League, which for obvious reasons will likely not actually happen and would be damn near impossible anyway.
He's not gonna make it.
I like that it will follow on from and connect with the Arkham series, and in particular the ending of Arkham Knight. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued by the story. So what are your thoughts on the game modes?
I do think the way the combined single player and co-op mode and how it looks like it's going to work is quite cool. Being able to switch characters helps to stave off any boredom and keep the fighting gameplay fresh.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. As mentioned before, this could work very well, assuming the AI characters are actually well programmed when you're not playing them.
So what are your final thoughts on this one?
I'm really looking forward to this, although I do have quite high expectations given that it's being developed by Rocksteady, and really hope they're able to make this one stand out. If this is well received, it could start a whole new offshoot of Arkham related games, and that would definitely be a good thing, rather than just developing standalone games that are not linked at all. Now that Warner Brothers have merged with Discovery, the new CEO seems to be going on the warpath with cancelling new projects, trying to raise standards and trying to bring more cohesion in the DC Universe films. Hopefully this will have a positive impact on the related video games if they do a similar thing, with a long-term plan and games being tied into a single universe, but let's just hope this doesn't get cancelled right before release like the recent Batgirl film.
That should knock a few years off the old sentence.
That's reminded me of something.
Yeah, so in terms of my final thoughts, I do like the look of the combined modes, and I think it'd be interesting to see how that's implemented in the game and whether it's smooth. Let's hope it is, and if so, it could be good fun. Based on the trailers, the game looks to have a good, slightly dark humour to it, which I like. We don't want it to be too dumbed down or made for kids.
Repeat, the penguin is in flight.
Then let's clip his wings.
Oh my god, he's getting up!
Hitting him again.
He's ran out the door! Somebody stop him!
Did that get him?
No! It very much did not get him. Waller! Blow up his head!
The range of enemy attacks and weapons look good from the gameplay sequences we've seen, and switching characters would be cool. However, as mentioned, I'm not completely sold on the story, so for me the jury's out on this point, so we'll just have to wait and see. Well guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. Hit that bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Come on then, you prick!